So here we go again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Well, it's actually BWTM Online, but yeah, we're talking sports anyway. Let's bring us up and let's get going. Okay, so we are back again. So this time we're going to be talking about a number of topics. We'll be talking about Keith Thurman. In fact, we'll start with Keith Thurman now, and the announcement: Keith Thurman will be fighting Manny Pacquiao. I think this announcement was made, but I had known about it a little while. It was going to happen, so let's bring this up. Keith Thurman. I call him Keith Fairy Tale Thurman. Once upon a time, and Manny Pacquiao. And when you look at the two guys, and you talk about retirement, who do you think I'm thinking about when it comes to retirement? Yeah, it's the guy on the right, Keith Thurman. He's the guy I'm thinking about retirement for and retirement plans, not Manny Pacquiao. I'll explain more now. So, okay, let's get some light. It's a bit dark in here. Let me get some light. Let me get some light here. Light over. Thanks. So we're going to get some light. Hold on a second. Yeah. Bit of light. Better. There we go, people. Now we can back in the camera. Get myself back in here. Let's see now. See who's in there. Keith checks Manny's chin for the last time. Okay. All right. So let's talk about this fight. Keith Thurman against Manny Pacquiao. When I look at both fighters, and you know that I've known Keith Thurman for a number of years now, I've seen Keith. I've seen hungry Keith. I've seen Keith that used to ring my house when I was in Grenada. That Keith Thurman. I've seen Keith Thurman champion. I've seen Fat Cat Keith Thurman. I've seen injured Keith Thurman. And through the transition of Keith Thurman, he hasn't gotten better. He actually, for me, has regressed as a fighter. Keith Thurman, there was a point in his career that, you thought he was going to be a real superstar in boxing. But I feel, and the things I said to him, I remember in an interview saying, listen, if you keep throwing punches the way you're throwing punches like this, you're going to throw your shoulder out. In big, wide punches, he was throwing punches like I call it like a cricket player. When you bowl a ball? Yeah, well, that's how Keith Thurman throws his shots wide. And when you throw them shots, put every punch you put everything into, you're going to put your shoulder out of place. You're going to injure yourself. And, of course, he did get that injury. And since he's come back from that shoulder injury, I've always said his shoulder never really recovered. Now, you look at somebody else who had a shoulder injury, which is Dillian White. And if you look at Dillian White's career, when he got the shoulder injury and he came back, a couple of fights he had didn't look great with the shoulder. And then suddenly, like the Hellenius fight, you start to see the left hook coming. And then we've seen back-to-back fights where, he did Parker, dropped Parker with the left hook, and he knocked out Chisora with the left hook. So that's somebody whose injury has recovered, and you can see they've actually gotten better with it. Keith Thurman, his shoulder injury, which I suspect he still has, he says it's healed. You show me evidence where his shoulder has gotten better and he has put on performances that look better. His fights against Porter and Garcia, they were good fights. I think that's the best you're going to get at Keith Thurman. And it's pretty much worked out now with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman, first couple of rounds, first 1 or 2 rounds, this is the Keith Thurman strategy. He comes out, he tries to blast you out of there. Once he sees you can't get you out of there, he becomes safety first. He gets off the back foot and moves around the ring. Thurman cannot fight backing up. Although you might see him skirting around the ring, he cannot fight backing up, which means that when his back is towards the ropes, Thurman has no defense. Thurman has no defense, and he's uncomfortable when you're on the inside of him. Thurman is great when you allow him to set up his shots by leaping and throw shots like David Hay almost. He's got a nice jab and he wants to use it, and he can circle around the ring, but he can be timed when he's moving around the ring as well. Keith pulls back, straight back from punches, leaving his chin up in the air. And whereas that guy, people can say, oh, well, you know what? Keith came back and he was injured. Now, you tell me what was so different between that Keith Thurman that fought that night and the Keith Thurman's fought previously. Yeah, it might be a bit ring rusty, but technically, there was nothing different. Same old Keith Thurman. Same old Keith Thurman. But the difference between Keith Thurman now and Keith Thurman then is hunger and desire. When Keith Thurman was moving through the ranks to become champion, there was a hunger about him. Fights against Danny Garcia and Porter showed that. When the Spence fight was being mentioned, Keith disappeared. And he had got married and all the rest of it, was up in the mountains. And he had a lot to say. Fat Keith Thurman. And now he's back. To me, he doesn't have the same passion as a Manny Pacquiao. And there were murmurs and rumors I was hearing that Keith Thurman is thinking about retirement. So something's not right. Is it the shoulder injury? Is he really that badly injured? And as for Pacquiao, if you're going to fight any of the top welterweights today to fight outside Adrian Broner, who would you fight? You got Spence, you got Garcia, you've got Porter, you got Thurman. And out of the four of the guys there, who looks the most vulnerable at the moment? Who looks the most shaky at the moment? Yeah, hell yeah. You go and fight Keith Thurman. Because his shots are wide. He comes round. Pacquiao is straight. Remember, Pacquiao don't throw them wide shots. Pacquiao comes straight down the middle. And if you're going to beat Keith, straight down the middle is the key. The straight left and the right hand jab, the right jab, and straight left. And Keith will be open to that all night long. And Pacquiao throws fast combinations. I don't think Keith Thurman's fought a guy with the sort of experience, explosive punching power, and movement who is faster on their feet than him, and has got faster hands than him, and will be better at the punch than him, and has got better distance and timing, and has fought great fighters. If he nailed Mayweather, he'll definitely nail Keith Thurman. And whereas Mayweather has got good defense, you watch what happened when Keith got nailed by the last guy he fought, how he responded. Eyes rolling up the back of his head, not knowing what to do. The guy out there couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe his luck. He didn't come in there to think he was going to beat Keith Thurman. One time, he went in there with the pressure. You know what? If I can get past this guy, if I can get 12 rounds of Keith, that's all right. Get myself set for the next fight. We talk what you want. But his moment, when he had the moment to finish Keith off, he was stunned. What just hurt Keith Thurman? He didn't come with the intention to win. And there's a difference. When a man comes with the intention to win, there's a different way they fight. You understand? So he was just worried about getting knocked out. Keith, I call as a fairy tale now. Once upon a time, Keith Thurman was knockout chaos for life and stuff. But he got to the top and he's got comfortable. And I don't see that desire in Keith Thurman no more. I don't see that desire, that hunger. Yeah, there's money on the table now for Pacquiao. But out of the two guys in terms of retirement, look, Pacquiao's 40 years old. And I think the time that would have been great for Thurman to fight Pacquiao was either after he became champion or unified with Garcia, then he should have fought Pacquiao. Right then, because he had momentum. There is no momentum now. Pacquiao is the one who's had the momentum. He's fought Broner recently. And he fought somebody else before, Vargas as well. So he's been fighting good top welterweights around. And he's hurting them. You know what I mean? And it's different for Broner because Broner's moved up in weight. So he's moved from the lighter weight divisions up. So he's a guy who's used to seeing punches coming a lot faster. So when he fought Pacquiao, he's used to seeing them punches coming, slip and slide to the side. But now Thurman another guy that banks a lot on his size, and he's a big guy. And he's blowing. His stamina's never been the greatest. I would not be surprised if Manny Pacquiao stopped Keith Thurman or beat him. I would not be surprised in the slightest. Because hunger is not something you can buy. You can't train hunger. And if you're comfortable and you're living comfortable and you got your silver slippers on and your wife's cooking you good meals and you're up and about and you're settling and you got a kid on the way and you know you wanted to have that comfortable life for your family and stuff. If that's the man you are and you're not really a violent man like that, but chaos for life and stuff, you've done it because it's a means to an end. And you've done that and you've got that plateau. The question is now, can Keith now come back and chase all those things again? Yeah, he is WBA champion, but can he still defend his kingdom in the same way as he was before when he was a hungry lion, wanting to be the best in the world? He's the top of the man. He's the top of the train. Until Errol Spence came along, a man that reminds him of himself, who's got that hunger, that's talking that same talk, that's talking the same energy that Keith once talked about. Remember Keith talked about, don't duck me, son. Remember that stuff? That Keith Thurman. I got an old, I ain't scared to let it go. That's what he used to say. Yeah? But it's a different time now. And I think that that's key when you talk about Keith Thurman. Let's see what people are saying here. Sorry, people, I see you all in the room and I'm just busy waffling away. So let me go back and hear what you all have to say. Keith checks Manny's chin for the last time. Keith's got to find that chin first. He's not a straight puncher. He's a roundhouse puncher. And the punch that knocked Manny Pacquiao out was a straight punch from Marquez off the back foot, counting Pacquiao as he jumped in. Thurman hasn't got a straight right hand like that. Thurman's punches are all roundhouses. And remember, a straight punch gets faster than a roundhouse punch. Keith dodging his last fight. Manny, for an old man, is still looking strong. I know. What do you think of Josh Kelly versus Ray Robinson? Ray drew in his last fight. He went the distance with Porter. I think it's a good step up for Kelly. Spoke about Ray Robinson before. Ray Robinson is no stranger to BWTM sports. Check out the interview I did with Ray Robinson. He has history with Danny Garcia. Regularly beats Danny Garcia up in the gym. And he's quite happy to tell us. I'll bring him back on the show so we can have a chat with Ray Robinson and he can tell us all that's going on. Yo, Johnny. If Keith threw straighter punches, he'd have more KOs in his resume. If Keith held his feet and threw more punches, he'd have more KOs in his resume. But you say for the same thing, he had more KOs in resume, he'd also probably get dropped and knocked out as well, because you stay in the area too long. That's where you get. That's what happens with Khan. As soon as Khan starts to sit in the pocket and stay too long, that's why he gets knocked out. Right? Talk to me about Hugh Fury. What's his level and where will he be in 5 years? I don't know. Can't answer that, but I've reached out to Peter Fury. Manny was saying he'd retire countless times. He's still about. Now, you don't get my point, Ruben. If you look at the two guys in terms of retirement, Manny's the guy you should be talking about retirement, but Keith Thurman's the guy that's talking about retirement. Once you start hearing a young man talking about retirement, it doesn't bode well for what he does inside the ring. Just saying. Think you're being unfair, Ingram. Keith has always shown in big fights against Manny he'll be motivated. Whatever. Next step. 100% agree. Like, you can't just show up being motivated. You can't. This the same garbage that Khan used to say. Well, I fight better opponents. I fight better. No, you don't. No, your chin doesn't get better as you move up in opposition. As you move up in opposition, your flaws get exposed more because better guys can get to your chin. A, B. As you start moving up in opposition, you're not able to hit guys the same way. So I don't buy this. If you're not motivated when you get in the ring to fight, you shouldn't be fighting. I do not believe this. Oh, well, he needs to be up for a fight. This is your life. You get in the ring with each and every time. That's about being a professional. That's about being. Well, guess what? You know what? I'm not up for paying my money for pay-per-view. Do you know what? I'm not up to turn up to the arena to watch you fight. And then, you know what? You're only 50% of a fighter. So I tell you what, you only give 50%. Well, I'll give you 50% of my hard-earned money. The money I'm working hard to pay to get to see you fight, and you put in 50% in. Well, let me pay you 50%. That's fair, isn't it? So don't give me that stuff about he's not motivated. He's not motivated. You're going to get hit in the chin. You're not motivated. Obviously, I don't know if you've ever boxed before, Ruben, but there's a mentality when you get inside the ring. You're not motivated when you don't get in the ring. Don't fight. Don't fight. And it's not like Keith Thurman's short of a bubble too. You're talking like Keith Thurman's short of a bubble too. He's not short of a bubble too. Very smart man, very astute man. And his father is very astute. I've spoken to his father on several occasions. Keith Thurman Sr., very astute man. And I saw what I saw in his father's eyes when he's watching his son in the ring, and he didn't like it. And I'm sure him and Keith sat down and said, you know what? You need to get your ass out of this sport as soon as possible. So the Pacquiao fights come around. That's a big, big, big payoff there. That's a big money fight. So you can't play boxing, and you can't fake how you really feel. And he does not. You look up the energy of Spence. That's a man that really is about the business. He wants to fight the best. He is about that business. You look at Wilder, another guy. His energy, the guy how they're going about the business, what they're doing, and then how they follow up in their fights. And then you got another guy there who will go on to him about a minute. Look at Dillian White. That guy's about that life. He is about wanting to fight the best and wanting to be out there. There's a difference. Do you think Manny will do the full camp with Freddie? That boo boy can barely hold pads and move. If Manny has a chance, he needs Roach in charge. Discuss. Okay, let's talk about Roach. Roach is the sheer reason why Manny got knocked out, but nobody wants to admit that. Nobody wants to admit the fact that was Freddie Roach is the single reason why Manny Pacquiao got knocked out against Marquez. Manny Pacquiao was winning the fight. He got dropped, but he was winning the fight against Marquez. He had Marquez on the verge of being stopped. But Roach was pushing him. Go for the knockout. Go for the knockout. Go for the knockout. We're going for the knockout. We're going for the knockout. And Marquez even showed what he was doing before in sparring with that straight right hand. But still, even though they showed the footage of him dropping a guy in sparring with that straight right hand, they still went walking straight forward against Marquez. So Pacquiao got knocked out against Marquez because of Freddie Roach. So is Freddie Roach the best guy? No, I don't think he is. I think Freddie Roach is very much overrated. Because Freddie Roach teaches you attack. He has not a clue to teach you about defense. Right? So I don't think Freddie Roach is the guy for Pacquiao now. I don't. I really don't. AJ Carr looks crazy. Yafai defending his world title. Callum Smith defending his world title. Katie Smith unified. Katie Taylor unified. Kelly stepping up, and BWTC on the card as well. Well, they're going to have to fill the card with someone and something, aren't they? And of course, some of those AJ fighters. BWTC is managed by AJ, isn't he? So who there cares about Katie Taylor? How many more fights till Manny looks his age? I don't know. But how many? It's not how many fights the Manny got before he looks his age. It's how many fighters can expose the fact he's 40 years old. You've got to be good enough to beat Manny Pacquiao. It's not he's 40. You've got to be able to beat him. Speed and movement and everything. It could happen. It could happen in the Thurman fight. If he still has the feet from the Broner fight, he may be able to unite this in Keith. If Keith loses, do you see that being the end of him? I see him going into retirement. I see Keith Thurman being one of these fighters who will take the money and run. I really do. I really do. If he fights Errol Spence, that's going to be something special. Can't see him fighting Errol Spence. He'll either lose or retire before then. I think the shoulder injury is there. I think he's really got a problem with that shoulder. How many guys has Keith Thurman KO'd since he's come back? Didn't KO Garcia, didn't KO Porter, didn't KO Broner. Didn't he knock Broner down, did he? No, talking about Thurman. So Thurman's come back. So he didn't knock out Porter, my correction. He didn't knock out Porter. He didn't knock out what's his name? Garcia. He didn't knock out the last guy he fought, who had been stopped on a number of occasions. He didn't knock out Bundu, who Spence went out and took out in a few rounds. So He didn't knock out Collazo. He didn't even knock Collazo down. Collazo got knocked down several times by Khan. So it put things in perspective. Thurman, Khan could make money. Yeah, it could. No, it couldn't. LOL. You were about one of 4 people who care about Katie Taylor. Khan needs to retire. Oh, hell, he needs to retire. He needs to retire. He needs to retire. You get him beat up the way, and you'll know now what happens. Khan's did what he did there. You can be guaranteed if he's put in a situation where he's fire up his ass again and he's in trouble, he's going to quit again. It's coming. I've told you already. You've seen it happening. Porter and Porter hasn't been. Somebody's going to say Porter hasn't stopped. He should have stopped Lopez. That's my point. Kel should retire already. I don't think he's seeing anything like the right side as well as he should. That's what I saw. The last fight is getting caught with punches he would never get caught with. Carl posted a picture of his elbow surgery. Always has a reason. Mart's fan video says, I think Pacquiao is about 11 years past his prime, but still good enough for world level, clearly. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, what Pacquiao does well. Good footwork, good movement, puts his punches together well. Timing, speed, accuracy, power. Really, really good. Very good boxer. Very, very good. Boxer puncher. Yeah, he's got all that experience as well now. So he knows when to take a break. But is Thurman the kind of guy that's going to press Pacquiao and put him under pressure for 12 rounds? Don't see it. I don't see it because Thurman doesn't fight that way. Thurman's the kind of guy who'll try and blast you out in the first couple of rounds. But remember, when Thurman opens himself up to let them shots go, he may seem to be getting caught with them, uncorked with one of them left hands. Because Pacquiao's quick. Pacquiao's very quick with that left hand. So, yeah. Right. So, my thoughts about Pacquiao Thurman. I'm putting Pacquiao as the favourite in this one. Of course, Pacquiao's an old man. We all know Pacquiao's an old man. And if he beats Keith Thurman, and you've got to put him up there. And I mean, you've got to put him as an all-time great anyway, Manny Pacquiao. But this, the guy's not weight drained, genuine world champion, was ranked the best in the world until Errol Spence came along with the IBF. But yeah, and Keith hasn't improved as a fighter for me. Manny against Batista was first KO in 10 years, and he fought in the Philippines. Manny has speed to offset Keith. Does he have the power, though? Ask Adrian Broner if he's still got the power. My lord, you see Adrian Broner's face when he got hit with the left hand? He shot real quick. When he got hit with that straight left hand, bing! Hands up real quick. Started riding. He knew about that left hand. Even Mayweather, when he got hit with the left hand, he knew about it and started tucking up real tight, real quick. They didn't allow Manny to flurry because he tucked up real tight. Elbows in, got that down, real tight guard. But yeah, he can still crack, no doubt about it. What do you think of Taylor versus? No, I don't know about that. Regis is a bad man, you know. I don't know if Josh Taylor beats him. I don't know if Josh Taylor beats him. I wish Josh Taylor all the best in his world title fight. I'm gonna have to do a preview on that and have a look at that. Okay, so we've just talked Manny Pacquiao. Now the next on my agenda. Who's next on my agenda? Let's see who's on my agenda. Yeah, this man. Yes. Smash and grab Fury is back. Yeah, you heard it. Smash and grab Fury. That's his name now on BWTM. Smash and grab Fury. Why are you saying that? I thought you liked Tyson Fury. I do like Tyson Fury. But I'm not, and I've said it a long time ago, I don't trust the man for anything he says anymore. He's a walking contradiction. A walking contradiction, right? He now is talking about how he's going to knock Dillian White out in 6 rounds. Well, you couldn't knock Pianetta out. You couldn't knock Safra Safiri out. You couldn't knock Deontay Wilder out. You couldn't knock out Dillian White. How are you working that out? How are you working that out? You couldn't knock out Pianetta. You couldn't even budge Pianetta. You couldn't knock out the cruiserweight midget, 5'9". You couldn't knock out the bum with skinny legs basketballer, Deontay Wilder. Now, I'm taking out of his words now, not my words. See, when you disrespect people and you disrespect fighters, that comes back on you. You said that Klitschko was a bum and he was an old man. Okay, so you couldn't knock out an old man that was a bum. You didn't disrespect Severi. You gave him a kiss instead. He was terrible as a comeback fight. You couldn't knock out Pianetta. He was a bum. And you couldn't knock out Wilder. He was a bum. He was a basketballer. And you could have beat him one hand behind your back. Well, you almost got knocked out by a basketballer. And now you're talking about you're going to knock out Dillian White. When was the last man you actually knocked out? Can I ask that question? When was the last time Tyson Fury knocked a man out? Was it Hammer? He retired on his stool. Chisora retired on his stool with a bad eye. What do you think? Was it? It might have been Steve Cunningham. I don't know. I don't care. But my point is this. I call him Smash and Grab Fury. Smash and Grab Fury. Let me tell you something. Fury's a very intelligent guy. Really intelligent guy. And people haven't pegged on to his blatant lies. You can't trust anything Fury says. Come on, Ingram. As John Fury said, Safa Severi is not to be underestimated. He's coming to fight. Listen, they're about money. It's about business and money. That's what it is. Oh, Joey Abel's the last KO for Fury. You see that? You see what I mean? And he was still under Peter Fury then, I believe, as well. Yeah, he was still under Peter Fury then as well. Can see Fury stopping White late, be drained his gas tank, but he doesn't spark him. Oh, come on, man. He had 10 rounds to stop Pianetta. He couldn't stop Pianetta. He had 12 rounds to stop the basketball player. The basketball player with skinny legs that was a bum. He couldn't stop him. So why is he going to swap Dillian White for? And arguably, Dillian White, the two best punchers, pound for pound punches in world boxing today for me, pound for pound, is Deontay Wilder, the straight right hand, and the left hook of Dillian White. They're the two biggest punches in world boxing. Right? And Fury got clipped with the right hand from a guy who should be clipping him with a right hand, according to him. Twice. White will catch him with the left hook. And what makes it even worse, White's actually sparred Fury before. But you can say what you want. It's not all about power. No, it's not all about power. But when you claim you're going to knock people out with power, I'm going to knock a person out. I'm holding you to your statement. Don't make one rule up for one guy and another rule for another guy. I'm straight down the line with it. Don't care if it's Fury, if it's Golovkin, if it's Canelo. If you're out in the public, fooling the public, what he's doing, he's talking to the public and people are lapping up. But Fury's a smart man. You watch. You know how he's getting his... I've clocked this and it's real smart. Fury's doing his dinner talks. Yeah, he's going around the country doing his dinner talks. But I've clocked it. If you go to every dinner show the Fury goes to, right, he's going up and down the country. They are technically pay-per-view numbers because those guys who won't turn up to see Fury fight in America will pay for the pay-per-view fights. So every time he goes to a dinner show, let's say there's 200 people in a dinner show. If he gets 100 people that paying for pay-per-view, and he does about 10 of them dinner shows, that's a wild guess. He's probably got double that, 500 people coming to these shows, right? And they ain't gonna pay. I can't go to America to see Fury fight, but I'll pay the $9.95 or yeah, that Fury's good crack, isn't he? He's quite funny. He's got a fit wife, and he's a funny guy. He put his hands out behind his back against Deontay Wilder. Yeah, he does talk much rubbish. Yeah, I want to watch Fury fight, and bang, I'm gonna watch Fury fight. That's a customer, and for that, I give Fury 110% credit because he's selling it. My man is selling them pay-per-view. He's selling it. That's how he can get with pay-per-view. He's selling the model. He hasn't got Sky Sports to go around, right, to go and sell in everyone's household. So he's got to do it the other way now. And now he's going to America. Better still, he's getting the best of the UK and he's getting the best in America. Absolutely brilliant. That's just masterclass. 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 And even then, bring his name and say, oh, yeah, I'll fight Dillian White for the diamond belt. Yeah, right. You can fight anybody in the world now. You've got yourself back. You're fit. All excuses about, well, he wasn't fit against Deontay Wilder. He pulled himself back from all that. And yeah, okay, well, Danny Jacobs came back from cancer. So let's shut that down straight away. So he's come back and he's had his fight against Tyson Fury. Yeah, okay, he was getting himself losing the weight and he was getting himself in fit. Yeah, he fought Pianetta. Yeah, he was losing the weight. He fought Wilder. Yeah, well, you know what now? He was fit. He was getting fit, but he's real fit now. He's had more time with Ben Davison. Now he's fighting Tom Schwartz. Why are you fighting Tom Schwartz? Why are you fighting Tom Schwartz? You could have fought Wilder. You kept telling the public and told everyone, oh, fight Wilder, this, that. And who do you end up fighting? Tom Schwartz. If you really want to go there and be really honest with yourselves, Fury fans, be honest. This is where I become unbiased, right? Be honest. Go back and remember what I said to you guys that were laughing at me. I'm looking at you guys now that were laughing at me and saying to me, you were laughing. Fury. I said, Fury should give up all them belts and keep the linear belt. Yeah? Or the IBL belt, not the IBL belt, the Ring Magazine belt. I said he should keep the Ring Magazine belt and he should be defending the title against the best guy out there. What the hell's the man doing now? He's given up all them belts and what's he doing now? Running around a linear title? What's he doing now? You're not laughing about that, are you? You're paying you're flipping £20 to watch him fight now, aren't you? That's exactly what I called it here. And that's when he was still champion with his IBF, when he had all the belts around him. And he was preparing for the Klitschko 2 fight. I said, give up them damn belts. They're not doing you any favors. What's he doing now? He's running around with the linear championship and he's made a flipping disgrace of the linear championship. Be honest. His defenses. He's defending against Tyson Fury, Pianetta, Wilder. Take Wilder out of that equation because that's the only one you can notice. And then his defense has been against Tom Schwartz. Really? This is the guy. Remember, this is the guy that said he's going to come back and he's going to do like Ali. He was going to come back and fight the top guys like Ali did when he made his comeback. Has he come anywhere near doing that? He fought Wilder. That's one fight. So he's saying one thing and doing something totally different. He attacked Frotch and he attacked all them guys when he was with Mick Hennessy and said they weren't loyal. Well, look what he's doing now. I just don't. If you're going to say what you'll say, just have some honesty about what you're saying. Tell the fans, look, you know what? This is what it's about. I'm going to try to get as much money in boxing as possible and off having as many fights as possible, make as much money as possible. It's no different than the Eubank World Tour. Remember when Chris Eubank went into that World Tour for $1 million? Well, Tyson Fury is doing a similar thing against low-level opposition, hardly any risks, grab the money, grab as much money as possible, smash and grab Fury. That's what I'm calling it. You don't see Fury doing White the same way he did Derek the second time? No, because Dillian White and Derek Chisora are not the same fighter. They're not. And Dillian White is getting better as a fighter. Derek Chisora hasn't improved in 10 years. Derek Chisora's been doing the same garbage that he was doing back in the day when he fought Tyson Fury. Don't you think what's just changing Derek Chisora's style? What has changed? He's not better at cutting the ring off. He's not better at bobbing and weaving. He's not. He's just the same old Derek Chisora. That's all. Where in 10 years? Show me where Derek Chisora's changed. Where he's improved. Will you tell me? You're still saying to yourself. People are still saying, "Yeah, well, if Derek's up for the fight, after he's about 7-8 losses afterwards." Just some stars suit Derek Chisora, and some stars don't suit Derek Chisora. Got nothing to do with Derek Chisora being up for a fight. Stars make fights. That's where it comes from. Some guys, if you remove her against Derek Chisora, it ain't great. If you're a guy that's able to hit Derek Chisora back in the chin and hit him back and challenge him, he isn't that. It's competitive. But I told you Derek Chisora was going to get knocked out by Dillian White. I told you that Josie Parker was going to get dropped by Dillian White. Because certain stars make certain fights in their jail. I let him off the last few fights because he was massively overweight, but he's pillow fisting either way. I think White missing punches is more draining than Wilder missing punches. White throws looping shots as well. Yeah? Okay. You don't see Fury doing White the same. No, I said that already. I don't know. Of his last 4 bouts, 2 of them have included Vlad and Wilder. Stop. Stop. Right there. Stop. with the Vlad stuff. Stop with the Vlad stuff. My man's been out of the ring 3 years, almost 3 years. So don't talk about the Klitschko. Don't talk about that. Don't even mention Vlad. Vlad don't come into it. And Vlad was an old man. By his own estimation, Vlad was an old man. Vlad was 40 plus. He said Vlad's an old man. So don't start making Vladimir Klitschko. And the performance against Vladimir Klitschko, go back and look at it. Is that a fight you're going to look back and say, that was a brilliant performance? Vlad didn't do anything in that fight. Vlad didn't do anything, and Fury did barely a bit more. The great thing about that fight is the result. Nobody thought Fury could go to Germany and get the result. That's what makes the performance so great, because he went to Germany and he went and beat a guy in Germany, but it wasn't a performance that you play 20 years from now and go, you know what, I'm going to sit down and watch Fury versus Klitschko. It wasn't a devastating performance. It was patter. His performance against Wilder wasn't a devastating performance. Now, if you want to go back and talk about devastating performances, you can go back and say, you remember Wilder knocked out Thurman? Dang, you remember he knocked out Thurman? Or you remember when he fought Lajkovic? You know, he knocked out Lajkovic. Or remember when he fought Ortiz? People will go back and watch that Ortiz fight because there was entertainment and excitement. When you see Tyson Fury is not exciting. He's not an exciting fighter. He's not exciting, right? But he's got a fan base and he's very colourful and he's got a great personality. People draw to that. But he's not a exciting fighter. I don't see Fury as exciting. Technical, yeah. Boxing skills, great. But exciting guy. And you're going to go and see Tyson Fury for knockouts? No, sorry. No. You've got to look at fights for what they are. You can't on one hand say Deontay Wilder can't box, but then turn around and say Tyson Fury is a big puncher. You got to see it as it is. Wilder's a big puncher. I want excitement. I want chaos. I watch Deontay Wilder. I want to watch a guy fill his way around 12 rounds. I watch Fury. If I want to watch a guy bludgeon his opponents, I watch Joshua. All right? So, the thing about Fury is that he looks crap against crap opponents. He raises his game against better opponents, though. Now, that's because, I said this before, when you've got other opponents that, like Wilder, who's going to knock you out, the fear of God gets put in you. So you move your feet a lot faster. Big difference. If you know you can go in a guy's got no punching power, you fight one way. But when you know this guy's got a fear of God, this guy's going to kick you, rend you unconscious with a right hand, you'll move real quick. There's different levels. Like Klitschko. When you see all the videos of Klitschko knocking guys out, you've got the fear of God putting you. And if you look at Fury's performance, it was a very herky-jerky performance. And at the beginning, very nervous as well. So, I don't know. I'm just trying to be honest. I'm not sugarcoating things. I'm just being honest without being disrespectful now. Anthony Joshua, Uncut, agree. When he was last time, Vlad was stopped before AJ fight. Fury versus White for the interim and dying belt. The world that leads nowhere. I'm going to go on to that in a minute. I said I agree. Fury raises his level on big nights. Murder Vlad. He was cut versus Fury. Was pissed. I don't know what you're talking about there. I'm not sure. Who was WBC? I'm making. We're going to that. We'll talk about White in a minute. At least a lot of people are talking about what. Okay, let me see. Let's go on because everyone's talking about Dillian White now, so we can talk about Dillian White and Fury. We'll go straight on to that. Thank you for that, people. We'll move straight on to that. This is my section called. It's a new section, and you heard it here first. Yes, Dillian White. Brother, we're talking about you again. I have to call this the Dillian White appreciation channel because you know what? It's not the WBC, it's the WHU. We hate you, White. That's what it is. So anytime you listen to the WBC talk about Dillian White, it's the WHU. We hate you, Dillian White. Or we hate you, White. That's what they are. The WHU. Now, before the man can even get past Oscar Rivas, they're already setting their man up to fight Tyson Fury. If Godzilla, right? If King Kong and Godzilla were available, they would be putting those two together. They would be putting Dillian White to fight them two after that. The Dillian White, the WBC have got they're a bunch of clowns. I'm sorry. How Dillian White, I don't know what Dillian White has done or he has said, but he has something has gone amiss, because Eddie Hearn said he's fighting on the behalf of Dillian White. I don't really believe that, but anyway, because I don't believe that, because the opportunity was there for Dillian White to fight. Watch this. There was an opportunity for Dillian White to fight Anthony Joshua. Remember they were talking about White Joshua? You could see the rematch happening. And then all of a sudden, Jarrell Miller flies into the country and he's doing things with Sky Sports. They had Dillian White in a final eliminator that was possibly to fight AJ. That was never going to happen. The only reason I said to final limit to fight AJ was that people had put bums in seats to watch the fight. He was never going to fight AJ. They already had their plans mapped out to fight Jarrell Miller. That was always the plan to fight Jarrell Miller. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And by the way, Warren, and Aram were taking the piss out of AJ's next opponent, Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz would sleep Swartz. Yeah, of course he would. And by some miracle, Swartz lands a big shot and knocks Fury out. He becomes a linear champ. Ha ha ha! Exactly. Exactly. The linear champ, the heavyweight championship world has been made a mockery of. That is what it is. It's a mockery. Absolute mockery. I don't know how this man can even bring the words Muhammad Ali out of his mouth and have a straight face. Beat the man who beat the man. Yeah, that's nice. Ingram, of Fury's last 4 fights, 2 of them have included Vlad and Prime Wilder. Stop that talk. Fury fought Vlad. He wasn't linear champion then. I'm talking about linear champion defenses. I'm not talking about, because he could have been linear champion if he hadn't fought Vlad. So take that out of the equation. Since Vladimir Klitschko, when he was linear champion, which he is now, that's what I'm talking about. So I go back again. Safa Safiri, Pianetta, Wilder, and Tom Swartz. Don't bring Klitschko into it. Klitschko doesn't come into it. I know the Klitschko thing like tickle your balls and make you feel good, but we're not talking about Klitschko. You can't be linear champion if you haven't fought Klitschko. So you have to fight Klitschko. If you beat Klitschko, then he had all those years out, remember? And then all the belts got taken off him when he came back, remember? All the belts got taken off him. Remember all of that? That's how Joshua's champion now. You know, remember all that time? Wow, unbelievable. England, where's Big Mick Hennessy these days? I miss that team. Yeah, don't we all? Well, that's fine, Ingram, but if that's the case, don't give Joshua Vlad props. I don't. I never did. And if you listen to my channel, I've always told you, if he was an old fight against Fury, then God knows if he was what he was when he fought with Joshua. And that was a great fight. The only difference between Joshua against Vlad and Fury against Vlad was because Fury had fought Vladimir Klitschko, who was consistently still fighting. He just come off a fight against Bryant Jennings. When he fought Joshua, he was sat on the couch for 2 years. Remember that. But Joshua fans, you know, they get, you know, and the thing was, Klitschko fought Joshua with less respect for Joshua than he had against Fury. If you fought Fury the same way, he may still have been champion. Why? Because if you look at Klitschko when he fought Joshua, he threw punches. He went for Joshua because he thought Joshua was inexperienced, and the gamble almost paid off in the 5th round. You compare that Klitschko that fought Joshua, a guy that hadn't fought for 2 years, versus the Klitschko that fought against Fury, 2 different guys. This guy didn't let his hands go, well, because Fury didn't allow him to. He just didn't let his hands go. There was no hunger there. But this guy, he thought, oh no, I'll take Joshua. So there you go there. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me Vlad was old at 41 and Joshua beat them out. I'm not under that. I've never said that. I've never subscribed to it. I said it was a whole piece of horse shit when they were talking about Fury, Joshua, and Klitschko. So that's not even a conversation I'm going to talk about. Leave that alone. Don't go there. You obviously wasn't there for the show. Moving on. I'm not talking about Joshua. This is not the Joshua talk. We're moving on from there. Let's see. How do you see the White Fury fight going? Not happening. Another fight to nowhere, I think. Try Del Bihar that Anthony Joshua. Oh dear me. Oh Lord. I don't call them WBC. They're giving them too much respect. It's WHU. Has WHU come out with explanation? If you turn down world title fights, are you held back in waiting for a list for a while? I'm not sure of negotiations. But Fury turned down the rematch with Wilder. So if you turn that off, this next guy should get the opportunity. Don't think anyone wants White, high risk, low reward. Agree. It's obviously that White hasn't sold out to the Masons and given his soul or done the rituals a sacrifice need to be a superstar level. Interesting. They can't afford to have someone, a champion like White, with his mouth. I said that 10 minutes ago. I said that about 30 videos or 40 videos ago. He's fighting White next. No, it's not. Is that bona fide he's fighting White next? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe he's going to come and fight White in September. I don't believe that. Because how is that going to work out? White's got to fight against Rivas. If White gets knocked out against Rivas, that fight's not going to happen. No, Fury's not fighting White. No, it's not happening. That's crap. That's rubbish. I don't believe it. I don't believe anything Fury says until it's on the dotted line. And even then, when it's on the dotted line, I don't believe him because you remember the Klitschko fiasco? Had the press conference and everything. So no, I don't trust anything Fury says. Fury, blah, 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 one day, he'll tell you today, I want to fight for the diamond belt. And tomorrow he says, you know what? Remember, if you haven't learned anything about Fury, remember he had that fight, he was talking all that good talk about fighting Wilder. Then what did he do? He ran over to Top Rank. So he ran over to Top Rank. Now you're all sitting here again. Listen to this man's rubbish about, oh yeah, add the diamond belt and I'll fight him. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Why do you want to fight for a diamond belt? I thought you all wanted to become WBC champion. That was the only belt in boxing you needed to get because you got the other belts. Why do you want to fight for WBC diamond belt? You had the opportunity to fight for automatic rematch. Well, you didn't you turned that down to fight Tom Swartz. So, really? Sounds like a dosser move to me, but hey, I'm not the one going around calling people dossers. White against Rivas, then White against Fury, then White against Usyk. It will go on forever. It's messed up. Then he'll be blackballed for good. Absolutely. Only better fight that includes White is in White. See what I mean? If you listen to certain people talk, you know that they've been listening to Eddie Hearn or watching Sky Sports. You know people who can think for themselves, and you know people that can't think for themselves. Now, okay, pick sense from nonsense. Why is Ortiz versus White a good fight? It's not a good fight. Ortiz, A, can't sell a ticket, and B, Ortiz got knocked out by Wilder. Ortiz is about 55 years old now. Why do you want to fight Luis Ortiz? What? You tell me what is so great about Luis Ortiz. Tell me one great fighter Luis Ortiz has beat for you to give all this praise to Luis Ortiz. I'm still waiting. Right? Povetkin. Didn't he just get smashed the other day by Joshua? So what makes that a great fight? If White beats Povetkin, what happens then? Yeah, well, Joshua beat him, so that don't mean anything. No. Yeah, this Rivas fight is a dangerous fight. Because Rivas ain't been beaten by anybody. It's a good fight. And Rivas has got amateur pedigree. Beat Pulev as an amateur. He just finished knocking out Bryant Jennings. The same Bryant Jennings that Luis Ortiz beat. So let's put that in perspective, yeah? The same Bryant Jennings. And these are the same people, the same Luis Ortiz people are back on my channel now after I told him that Wilder was going to smash Ortiz. The same people on my channel talking the same rubbish about Luis Ortiz then I come back talking that same rubbish now. Ortiz is finished. He's an old man. He's done. Finish Ortiz. Man, what you have to see the guy get splattered again to understand that. Ortiz is done. Ortiz is done. Forget Luis Ortiz. Oh my God, Price was getting to Povetkin before he got KO'd. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. It's like saying Frank Bruno was getting to Mike Tyson before Mike Tyson took his head off his shoulders with the uppercut. Oh dear. Oh Lord, I'm not listening to. I cannot listen to this. I'll just put the comments out there, but I'm not even getting into this. I'm not even getting into this. Oh dear. Listen to the comments and you think what you want of them. Okay. Povetkin is a Russian monster though. Underrated. He still bangs his combos, still fluid, dangerous fighter. Who you got between Povetkin and Ortiz though? I think Povetkin and Ortiz should fight. There's a fight right there. I think Povetkin beats him, to be honest. Same guy. Tough fight. Ortiz seems to be fighting at his own pace and range. Won't let that happen. Stop. Ortiz has fought for a world title. Dominic Breazeale has fought for a world title. Why is Dillian White not fought for a world title? You're still talking the rubbish about Ortiz and Povetkin. Why are you not talking about Dillian White fighting Deontay Wilder? You're on one hand saying, yeah, they're not treating Dillian White right. He should fight for the WBC fight, get to fight for the world title. He's not going to fight for the WBC world title if you still go by the same garbage that the WBC want him to do. Fight Povetkin, fight Ortiz. He doesn't need to fight Povetkin or Ortiz. Why did you get Dominic Breazeale to fight Ortiz or Povetkin? Who did Dominic Breazeale's last 3 fights be? Who did he fight? After he got knocked out by Joshua, who did Dominic Breazeale fight to go and fight Deontay Wilder now? Let's talk about that. I just don't get the garbage talk. White has fought Brown. He's fought Parker. Helenius Parker Brown. Who was it? And Chisora. Come on, man. And active as well. Not fight once a year. Regular. So he rocked him. Yeah, okay. Bruno rocked Tyson. And Tyson took Bruno's head off his shoulders with that uppercut. LFC, you're talking. He says, LFC, you're talking rubbish. You're on some baby thing. Doctor had to give, oh my God. Doctor had to give Wilder extra time at the start of the round saving. Stop. Hold that right there. What did the referee do for Tyson Fury when he's down at the count of 9? He got up and started pushing Fury back against the ropes and giving Fury time to breathe and get his head together. What about that? Oh, let me stop again. AJ. Remember when AJ was fighting Takam? Should we talk about that? What was the referee doing in the Takam fight? Or should I talk about the referee in the Parker fight? You guys see what you want to see when you want to see it, but you're not. You just favor it here and there. If you want to talk boxing, talk boxing. If you want to talk personalities, tell me talking personalities. If you want to talk fanboys and posters in your bedroom, do so. Just say, look, I'm a fanboy. I don't know anything about boxing. Educate me. Or, you know what? I'm a fanboy. I'm a fan of Anthony Joshua. And I think he's the best heavyweight in the world. I think he's the greatest heavyweight since Muhammad Ali. Just be honest and say that. But don't speak as if it is fact, because it's not fact. It's not fact. The fact of the matter is, that was not the only time a referee intervened in a fight. In the Takam fight. Why was the Takam fight stopped? Takam wasn't hurt. Takam wasn't hurt. Go back and look at what happened with Chisora and Takam. That's a stoppage. Go back and look at Takam versus Povetkin. That's a stoppage. But this crap stoppage with Joshua versus Takam, when Joshua looked like he was knackered, what was that? And the punches, if you go back and look at the punches, they were grazing Takam when Joshua was throwing them punches. So I don't know where some of you guys are coming from, man. I don't know what planet some of you are coming from. You've got to, if you're going to talk boxing, you've got to be honest. No fanboy business, no poster boy business, right? No Vaseline and tissue business. You've got to just be honest and try and be as objective as possible. And just say, look, Wilder got time? Yeah, he got time. So Joshua hasn't been helped by the referee. I can give you 2 instances straight away. When Joshua got headbutted by Parker and he backed up and he started looking at the referee. Yeah, the referee didn't help him there. Or where anytime Parker was trying to get to Joshua, the referee kept breaking him up. Yeah? If I want to carry on about referees, then what about when Hatton fought Mayweather and the referee stopped Hatton from able to get inside and work? It kept saying break all the time. But that's what happens. Still wouldn't have made a difference. He still would have got knocked out. Yeah, true, but a strict application of the CV rule means it's hard to give Ortiz much props. Resume lacks names. Exactly. What have you done for me lately? What has Luis Ortiz done for all this fanfare? He's a good boxer, but who's he beat? In his 40 years, or 50 years, who's he beat? Bryant Jennings. Rivas knocked him out, so what? Talk to me. Who else? Malik Scott? Oh, go on, tell me. Keep talking to me about how great that Luis Ortiz is. He didn't even fight Klitschko. At least Joshua and Fury can say they're going to fight a guy who's going to go down to be a Hall of Fame great, which would be Vladimir Klitschko, just by his title defenses alone. Luis Ortiz will not go down in the Hall of Fame. Sorry, he won't, unless he fights Joshua and becomes heavyweight champion of the world, and then he's the oldest heavyweight in history at 55 years old or something like that. That's the only way it's going to happen. Joshua shit until he beat someone young and elite. Even White was injured. We know that. Sudden vitriol against AJ. Here we go. AJ's more promising, more than promising, doing very well, but his CV lacks young elite names. That's just the truth. He hasn't fought members of the Golden Trio. That's true. LFC says, you have serious anger issues. Stop talking like you're black. You're a... What? I'm repeating that. Who's this Golden Trio? I guess it's Wilder, Fury, and Joshua. He can't fight himself. He hasn't fought Fury or Wilder, has he? Wilder has had the chance. Oh, dear. Oh, Lord. Right. This is funny, though. It is funny. Yeah. So, the WHU and Deontay Wilder. You know when someone hates you, yeah? You know when somebody hates you? Is that they see you doing work, and before you can even get down to doing that work to prepare for a fight, they've already got the next obstacle ahead of you. Yeah, just to let you know, by the way, even if you beat Rivas, we're letting you know now you're not going to get a fight against Wilder, so you're going to have to fight another eliminator against Tyson Fury. And even if you do beat Tyson Fury, just to let you know that Usyk is just waiting around the corner because he'll be looking for a fight as well. You want to fight the best in the world? Why don't you fight the best in the world? No problems, Dillian White. You can fight the best in the world all day long. You can clean up our ranking system. But it doesn't matter because the promoter's going to pay us some money and we'll get fighters to continue leapfrogging you. You tell me something. How the hell can Jarrell Miller get a fight ahead of Dillian White? How can you get a world title shot ahead of Dillian White? You work that one out for me. Anthony dealt with White, Parker, Tack and Povetkin. Solid resume. Best resume by a mile. Best resume by a mile. Well, let's see now. White was injured. Klitschko was 2 years older than when he was old again. He was 2 years more older. I don't think it was any wiser. And he almost had AJ out of there in the 5th round. If you want to talk about refereeing and everything, he was out on his feet in the 5th round. And Klitschko didn't follow up on him. So if you want to go down that route of the AJ thing, AJ was out on his feet, was on his back against Klitschko, if you want to go down the AJ route. All right? And that was against a guy who was like 42 years old. An old man. Put him on his back. How do I think Usyk fares against all the heavyweight names? If you want to know how Usyk fares against all the heavyweight names, there's a video on this channel Usyk versus the heavyweights. And we did, I think it was an hour and a half or 2 hour special with his former trainer, James Bashir. We talked about Usyk versus the top heavyweights in the world, past and present. So we talked about Usyk versus Holyfield, Usyk versus Hay, Usyk versus Ali, Usyk versus Norton, Usyk versus. So we talked about all, and then we talked about Usyk against the heavyweights. A fascinating listen. And James Bashir, been in sport almost 50 years, well, 50 years now, and was able to break down the different fighters. An excellent listen. So if you get a chance, listen to Usyk versus the heavyweights. Tell us, oh wise one. Oh dear, wiser than you, son. Usyk does top 3 are super heavyweight. AJ Wilder hit too hard, too long. Thanks, if we check it out. Listen to his trainer. I'm sure his trainer would know a lot more than somebody punching keys behind a keyboard. So I'll say that much. And I want to say something else as well. If you remember, I did a video the other day on Anthony Yarde and his punching power. And I said he punches harder than most heavyweights. Well, I've been around some heavyweights up close and personal, watching them on pads. And Yarde hits harder than them. When Yarde was hitting the pads, right, I was literally yelping when he was hitting them pads. And I've seen heavyweights, big heavyweights, hitting pads, and they don't hit their pads as hard as Anthony Yarde. Anthony Yarde can seriously punch. I just thought I'd say that. What makes me excited about Usyk is mentally tough. I could be wrong. Now, I keep stating this fact, and I don't know what it takes for some of you people to get it. Fights are won by size, but you need to be good. You need to have good technique. Usyk has got great footwork, good hand speed, and good movement. And them heavyweights are not punching faster than Usyk. Those heavyweights, Joshua, you're talking about Joshua and Fury, those guys are going to be cumbersome to Usyk. You don't get it. You don't get it. Footwork is going to be key for Usyk to get in and out of range. It's going to make them guys look stupid. I'm telling you now. Them guys are not going to... And another thing, you Joshua fanboys, right? Yeah, Joshua's going to blast him out in 2 rounds. Who's the last guy Joshua blasted out in 2 rounds, please? That was world class. Name me the last guy Joshua blew out in 2 rounds. You guys make stories up. I think you think Anthony Joshua's a video game, right? Talk big nonsense about Anthony Joshua. He's a good fighter. I'm not saying he's not. But don't make stories up about the man. Yeah, he's going to blow him out. He'll knock him out in 2 rounds. Who of world class has Joshua ever knocked out in 2 rounds? He's going to knock out Juris in 2 rounds. No, he's not. No, he's not. He could do it against Molina. And I told everyone if Molina takes 2 steps back the ropes within the first 30 seconds, Joshua will blow him out of there. Check the tape. So, I don't know. I don't know where, if Joshua could knock out, Joshua could knock out, let me think, he could knock out Takam in 2 or 3 rounds, and he could knock Takam out. He could knock Takam out, yeah? Chisora knocked him out. Are you going to suggest that Chisora's a bigger puncher than Joshua? Joshua could knock out, could knock down Parker in 12 rounds. White dropped him, and I told you White would drop him. So all this talk about Anthony Joshua, don't get it? I don't understand it. Let's talk with facts. Who at world level has Joshua knocked out in 2 rounds? Don't talk to me about Molina. And don't talk to me about the other guy who sold the title to Joshua. What's remarkable is Usyk's demeanor. Look, Sheep is talking about Fury, but when he talks about AJ, he licks his lips. I don't know, though. Joshua may not be the top, but he is at the bum. Should be close. Movement. Movement's key. The footwork. But they're talking boxing science. People's footwork. Be able to move in and out of range. Gentlemen, all you guys who keep talking about size. Go and do your research. Go and watch Mike the Giant White against Michael Moorer. Go and watch that fight. Go and watch Evander Holyfield versus Riddick Bowe, the third fight. Go and watch that fight. Technique is more important than size. Size matters. Size can only matter if you're able to use it. So what are you? How are you suggesting Josh is going to do it against Usyk? He's just going to come forward and Usyk's going to stand and let him hit him. Don't be silly. Don't be silly. He's just going to bundle forward with that stiff robotic style, and Usyk's going to stand there. And, come on, behave yourself. Behave yourselves, man. Look at fighters for what they do. Vast amateur experience. Won the Cruiserweight Championship of the world with relative ease. Undisputed. Cruiserweight. Telling you, guys are good size heavyweight, can move. Good footwork. At some point, size makes a difference. Really? Especially over 12 rounds. You've been listening to too much Sky Sports, mate. You've been listening to Sky Sports. Well, Khan was bigger than Crawford, was he? Didn't he get his ass kicked? Crawler was bigger than Lomachenko. Well, he's bigger at the weight. Where he get his ass kicked? Fielding was bigger and taller than Canelo. He got his ass kicked, right? Size doesn't matter if you've got no damn technique. If you can't box, you can't box a lick. You can't box a lick. If you're not a class boxer, don't matter how big you are, your ass is getting put to sleep. And the bigger you are, think about it, the more of there is for you to hit. Apparently, Usyk gives Vlad a hard time in sparring. And who told you that information? Good old Johnny Nelson. But yet his trainer, his old trainer Bashir at the time, Usyk and Klitschko weren't sparring at the time. But somehow or the other, Johnny Nelson knows about this sparring session when his trainer and him were together and they never sparred. But supposedly, Usyk and Klitschko were giving each other, I was giving Klitschko a hard time in sparring. Really? And I'm talking to his trainer nearly every day. I said, where's the story about this Klitschko and Usyk thing? He says it wasn't happening. Didn't happen. These are at smaller weights we're talking about. 20,000 advantage, amazing reach advantage. Wait! Michael Moorer. Mike the Giant White. Michael Moorer, 6'1". Cruiserweight, move up to heavyweight. Mike the Giant White, 7'1". Heavyweight. Stop! Not just too long ago. Valuev, 7 foot versus 6'3", David Haye. What garbage are you talking about? Look how big Pulev's head was, about as big as David Haye's body. What are you talking about? Valuev versus Holyfield. Holyfield won the fight against Valuev. They just didn't want to give him the title. Because then Holyfield had continued boxing even further. Size all right. Haye was basic at heavyweight, but still dealt with Valuev. Hunter, Holyfield, Roy Jones, Tony calls heavyweight problems. Thank you very much. Valuev is no AJ. Oh my God. AJ is no Riddick Bowe. Let's get that straight. AJ is no Riddick Bowe. I repeat, AJ is no Riddick Bowe. What did Evander Holyfield, the former cruiserweight, undisputed cruiserweight champion of the world, do in the rematch to Riddick Bowe? You can't compare the two. That's a cruiserweight, moves up to heavyweight. Now you're boxing history. Come on. Usyk can get away with getting hit with more punches at cruiserweight. He can't at heavyweight. Stop. Again, you listen to Sky Sports. So what you're going to try and tell me now, you're going to type this. You're going to type on the screen. You're going to Logically tell me that a heavyweight punches faster than a cruiserweight. Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm listening carefully to this. Behave yourselves, man. Go away, man. Behave yourself. No chance. What it is that heavyweight, the chance you take, he's going to see them punches coming before they hit him. You're going to see them punches. He's going to see them punches coming. That's what, if you remember what David Haye said when he was at cruiserweight, he says, I love these big fat heavyweights because I see the punches coming beforehand. That's what it is. Can you imagine AJ landing the right hand's belly you hit Usyk with? Belly's a cruiserweight. Belly's a cruiserweight. And had fought a light heavyweight before that. Oh, Lord. Mate. You should go and study some boxing, right? I'm going to give you some fights to go and look at. By the way, let's not overlook Usyk versus Briedis. That was a hard fight for Usyk. A large percentage of fans thought he lost that fight. Stop. Is that name the same Briedis that went and knocked out Manwal Shah, who's the current heavyweight champion of the world, WBA heavyweight champion of the world, the same WBA heavyweight championship of the world that Povetkin had, and the same WBA championship that the great David Haye had? Stop talking. It justifies my point again. Briedis moved up to heavyweight and knocked out Shah. I don't think anyone had done that to Shah beforehand. So let's not overlook that point, shall we? Let's not overlook that point. But anyway, here's a couple of fights for you to go and look at. Usyk's going to be dangerous at heavyweight. I'm telling you already. Very dangerous. Look, here is. See, this is where you know if people know about their boxing. When you think that you're saying Usyk's got a chance at heavyweight, you're not actually backing yourself in your boxing urge. Usyk's got every chance to become heavyweight champion of the world. Every chance to become heavyweight champion of the world. It's just timing. It's when he fights Joshua. He's got every chance to become a heavyweight champion of the world. Every chance. And he will give Joshua absolute nightmares because Joshua is going to need, Joshua's going to have to fight, he's going to have to be able to time Usyk with that right hand, which means Usyk's going to have to stand there long enough to get to ping him, right? But remember, as he's about to ping, he also leaves himself open to get tagged back. All the guys he's fought are about the same sort of speed or slower. When he fights Usyk, he's going to fight a guy who'll hit him before he hits him. Got that sort of speed. You're making a point. A lot of fans thought Briedis beat him. So it is a reality check if Usyk fights top heavyweights. No, I'm not making, no. Briedis went and knocked out Shah as a heavyweight. Usyk is pound for pound better than AJ all day. I don't know. Here's some fights you look at. Michael Moorer, please go look at this fight. Versus Mike, the Giant White. Go educate yourself. Okay? Holyfield. Versus Bo. 2 and 3. Is Mike the Giant White an Olympic medalist? No, but you're talking about size and thing. And by the way, if you want to go about the gold medal, if Joshua fought anywhere else in the world but London, he would not have won that gold medal because he didn't beat the guy in the first place to get through. So stop that gold medal. Stop that gold medal. Stop that talk straight away. You know he was gifted the gold medal. You know he was gifted the gold medal. Don't talk that rubbish to me, man. And I'm done. I'm finished for the evening. Right. Once again, much love to Dillian White. Much love to Dillian White. I don't know why I had him on the camera for so long, but yeah, much love to Dillian White. Right, I'm out here. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, go watch some boxing. Go watch some fights. If you haven't learned by now that size is only effective if you've got technique to back it. If you're a big guy, but you haven't got technique, it doesn't make a lick of difference. Now, when you're fighting a guy, when you're cruiserweight move up to heavyweight, everything is slower. It doesn't get faster, it gets slower. Yeah, the punches are heavier, but you see them coming. You see them coming. All right? I'm not saying you can't get knocked out, but with a guy as skilled as Usyk, who has sparred technically better fight. He's been sparring guys like Klitschko. He's been sparring many heavyweights that you're not aware of, that you don't know about. So don't think because you haven't seen these guys. Well, what do you think these guys do in training? What do you think these guys do in sparring? What do you think they do in training camp? Do you think they just like just get fit and they just walk in and fight? These guys are professionals. So there's no doubt for me that Usyk would have fought against guys. And I know he would have sparred with James Bashir. But then I guess it's not fair because I've been able to see Usyk up close with Bashir before he became the world star that everyone was talking about in terms of his professional career. So I don't know. For me, I think Usyk is a danger to the heavyweight division. And every heavyweight that's there is a danger. Very, very dangerous hombre. Very dangerous. And anybody that knows boxing knows that Usyk is the business, even at heavyweight. He's even more of a danger at heavyweight because of the footwork, the speed, the punching power he's got that people say he don't have, but he's got punching power. He cracks hard. And that's coming from his trainer. And his trainer he no longer is with now. So those are my thoughts. I back Usyk at 120% to become world champion. No doubts whatsoever in my mind. Right, I'm out of here. Have a great evening. And once again, thanks for watching. I said somebody asked about Joshua versus Usyk. If you want to know the track about Usyk versus the heavyweights, past and present, check it out on this channel. His trainer talks about every fighter in the heavyweight division, past and present, even Usyk versus Dave Allen. Check that out. It's all with James Bashir. Usyk versus the world. Check it out. Thanks for everything. We're out. Take care.